Okay? Fine? Okay. Okay, then start. Fine. ॐ दक्षिणस्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्णपाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञानगुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च. So now we have come to the third valli of the first chapter. And what is going to be the unfolding of Shastra in the third valli? I gave a very brief introduction in the last session. What is going to be talked about in the third valli of the first chapter is, firstly, what is Jiva? What is this traveling Jiva? Because Nachiketa has asked for that knowledge of Atman which does not travel, which is my real Swarupam. But then there is something else, a second thing. We can't call it a second thing. There is something else which travels, which embodies itself into different bodies, becomes the Karta Bhokta, and also it accrues Punya Papa, travels to various worlds and various lokas it travels, comes back into the samsara again and again. So, what are the options that this traveling Jiva has? Who is this traveling Jiva? From Atma, which is one and only, from the Ekam Advaitam Atma, what is this Jiva, this so called a second entity, which is a traveling Jiva? What is it? How has it appeared? Secondly, what are the courses or the choices that the Jiva has? What are the types of journeys that this Jiva can take? This jiva can take either a journey towards material pursuits called as the prayas, which we have already seen, or it can take a journey towards moksha called as shreyas. So this jiva has got a choice to go into the shreyo marga or into the preyo marga. So what is this journey of the jiva? And if this jiva has to undertake ultimately this journey towards the goal of moksha, because ultimately we are dealing with the Upanishad here. So the Upanishad is not interested in talking to us about the material goals. It only tells us there are two paths, there are two ways, two journeys that the jiva can take. One is called the journey towards prayers, that means following the Veda Purva and attaining all the material benefits that one wants. What are the material benefits? Lokaishana, Vittaishana, Putraishana. We have already talked about the three main types of desires every human jiva wants to attain. He can attain that. The jiva has the choice of that journey going towards prayers. But the jiva also has a choice which is called as the moksha purushartha nishchaya, in which the jiva has decided that I no longer want the material pursuits in life. I want to be free from this samsara forever. And I am willing to take the help of Shastra and Guru and go towards that goal called as moksha. This is called as the Shreyo Marga or journey towards the Shreyas. And this is what the Upanishad is going to talk about here. First, what is a jiva? What are the two options that the jiva has, the two journeys that the jiva can take? And if the jiva has decided upon moksha purushartha nishchaya and wants moksha as the ultimate goal of this life or whatever, whenever it happens to be, but this is my ultimate goal as a jiva, and I have had enough of prayers. Now I want to pursue Shreyas, and this is what I want. If this is the Purushartha Nishchaya of this Jiva, what kind of a journey is it? And if that is the journey that the Jiva has to take, then what are the sadhanas or the preparations that are necessary for this journey? And once this journey towards Shreyas on the Marga of Shreyas, Shreyo Marga, has taken place, what is the result or phalam of this ultimate goal of moksha? And what is this journey towards Shreyo Marga? That is called as Jnanam. That is called as Jnanam. Journey towards prayas, Preyo Marga, towards material benefits is Karma Marga. Whereas that path or that road which a jiva takes, because the jiva wants moksha, which is called a Shreyo Marga, is nothing but the Jnana Marga. Therefore, in this chapter, what is the jiva? What are the two paths available for this jiva? And if the jiva has chosen the path of Shreyas, then what is it that he needs to make preparations for? That is the sadhanas or the preparations necessary. What is this jnana marga? What is this jnanam? And what is the phalam of this jnanam? This is what is going to be discussed in the 17 verses that are there in this chapter. Very, very interesting chapter. Sometimes some of the verses may turn out to be a little bit, difficult or subtle, but then we'll try to make it as easy as possible for us to understand. We took up the first verse in the last session, where what is a jiva was described. So I'll read this again, the first verse, and then I'll explain the first verse again, because though I have explained it, I'll summarize it in a little shorter way. What it says is the first verse says, Ritam pibantau sukrutasya loke guham pravishtav parame parardhe छायातपौ ब्रह्मविदो वदन्ति पञ्चाग्नयो ये च त्रिनाचिकेताः. So what here Yamadharmaraja says is, it is as though there are two things in the Hridaya Guha or in the space of the heart or in the mind Buddhi Guha of a living being. And here the Upanishad is meant for the human living being. Therefore, let us take the human being. In every one of us, in the Hridaya Guha, there are as though two things. There are really no two things, as I told you. There is only one Atma, which is Upalabdha, which is available in the Hridaya Guha. Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman, said the Taittiriya Upanishad. This Atma, which is all pervasive, is also available as the content of this Upadhi, this body mind sense complex, in the Hridaya Guha, in the mind, also as the Upalabdhi Sthana. And what is there in the mind? The Upalabdhi Sthana of this Atma, where the mind or the Buddhi is there in the Hridaya Guha. The science may not tell us where exactly the mind is, but our scriptures say that the mind or the intellect is here in the Hridaya Guha. And there itself we find the Upalabdhi of all pervading Atma also. So when this mind or this intellect, buddhi, in the Hridaya Guha happens to be the most subtle and the most capable of reflecting this light of consciousness, this buddhi becomes a perfect reflecting medium. And so the available Atma Chaitanya there, the available light of consciousness called the Atma, which is there also, which is everywhere, which is present in the Hridaya Guha, gets reflected in this mind or the intellect. And this reflection that is available in the reflecting surface of the mind is called as Chidabhasa. And this Abhasa Chaitanyam or Chidabhasa along with the body mind sense complex is called as the jiva. It is like me standing in front of a mirror and seeing my own reflection. For counting, there may be two things. There is an original face and there is a reflected face. But in actually speaking, in reality, there is only one thing. The reflection is as though there, but really not there. Similarly, what is there in the Hridaya Guha is only the Atma Chaitanya. But this Atma Chaitanya or this light of conscious gets reflected automatically in the most perfect reflecting medium called as the buddhi and forms what is called as the abhasa chaitanyam. This abhasa chaitanyam, along with the body mind sense complex, is the one who considers itself to be an individual. It is what which says, I am the doer, I am born here, I am this body, I am this mind, this world belongs to me, I do this work, I am the karta, I am the bhokta, I am sukhi, I am dukhi. Who is it that says this? It is the jiva. It is this reflected consciousness or the abhasa chaitanyam, which is called as the jiva, is the one which is the karta bhokta, which accrues punya papa, the one which travels from body to body. When one body dies, it travels, takes a little time somewhere where we don't know. It is told in certain Upanishads also, we know what happens actually, and then it actually comes back into another body. And in this way, the traveling jiva keeps on traveling from one body to the other. Whereas Atma Chaitanya is a karta, it is a bhokta, it is anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. It does not accrue any papa and punya. At the same time, this Atma is the one which does not travel. It is available everywhere. That is the Atma which is all pervasive and which is available everywhere. It is only this Jiva which is limited. Atma is unlimited. Jiva is the Karta Bhokta. Atma is not the Karta Bhokta. Jiva is the traveler. Atma is not the traveler. Therefore, it is as though this Hridaya Guha has two things and both of them are exactly opposite to each other. So here he says, Ritam pibantau sukritasya loke. Loke, in this body, in this particular upadi, there is a jiva which is existing, which is going through all the merits and demerits or papa or punya of its kartritvam. Rutam pibantau, karma phalam pibantau. That jiva which is experiencing the karma phalas, its karma phalas, that also exists. Guham pravishtau parame parardhe. Pravishtau, dual, dvivachana. That means there is one more thing there in this Hridaya Guha. What is that? That is the all pervading Atma. Parame parardhe. In that auspicious pure space in the heart where the buddhi is there, there are as though two things. One is the original consciousness or Atma, the other is the reflected consciousness or Abhasa Chaitanyam. Again, I want to stress it very clearly for the sake of teaching purposes. We say original consciousness and reflected consciousness, but actually speaking, there are no two consciousnesses. There is Chaitanyam and Abhasa Chaitanyam. Abhasa Chaitanyam is as good as not there. Just if you have any confusion between Atma and Abhasa Chaitanyam, remember you are standing in front of a mirror and looking at your own reflection. It is as though there are two things, but in reality, the second thing or the reflection is a mere appearance. The reality is only your face. Similarly, though both the things are available in the same place in the Hridaya Guha, one of them, the Atma, is the absolute reality, and the other one, what is the other one? It is a mere appearance, it is a mere reflection. And Chaya Atapau Brahmavido Vadanti. They're exactly opposite, like light and shade. I gave you the differences between Atma and Jiva. So they are like Atma is like the light of consciousness, whereas Jiva is the one who is steeped in ignorance. So chaya atapau iva, they are as though of opposite nature, exactly opposite, like light and shade. And who talks about these things? Brahmavido vadanti. Those who understand this Atma talk about it. Who else talks about it? Panchagnayoho yecha trinachiketa. Even the Upasakas, the Veda Purva people, the Karma Kandis also talk about a Jiva. Therefore, what is the Jiva was talked about in the first verse, which we started in the last session. Now, in the second verse, the choices that are available for the jiva's journey. Which journey I want to take up? Like we plan for a journey like that. What are the options that this jiva has? This is what is going to be talked about in the second verse. Let us see. यः सेतुरीजानानाम् अक्षरं ब्रह्म यत्परम् अभयं तितीर्षतां पारं नचिकेतगुं शकेमहि. So, what Yamadharmaraja is telling is this jiva has two choices. One choice is that the jiva can follow the Veda Purva, the Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda of the Vedas, and take up to the Preyas Marga, Preyo Marga, and go after the material benefits that the Preyo Marga can give. Therefore, all these Nachiketagni and all these other Agni Karyas in the form of all these, yajnas and yagas that are done, the karmas that are done, and the upasanas that are done as per the Veda Purva are like a bridge, say to who? Yaha setuhu ijananam. Ijananam. Those who are conducting these rites and rituals, these fire rituals called as yajnas, which are what are told in the Veda Purva, those people, those yajamanas, ijanana means for those who are doing these yajnas, the yajamanas of those karmas which are told or which are described in the Veda Purva, these karmas, Veda Purva itself becomes what? It becomes a setu for them to reach the material benefits that they want. Whereas there is another bridge. What is that bridge? Aksharam Brahma Yat Param. Aksharam Brahma Jnanam. Here, Aksharam Brahma has to be taken as Aksharam Brahma Jnanam. Aksharam Brahma Jnanam is another setu. It is another bridge which takes us across, which takes the jiva across to what? Abhayam Titir Param. Abhayam Titir Param. The one, this setu or this path or this bridge. Setu means bridge, it can be taken as a path also. It can be setu can be taken as a path also. So the Veda Purva is the path for Ijananam, for the Yajabanas who want to take up a lifestyle of Preyo Marga and want to attain material benefits. They don't mind coming back again and again, but they want to come back again and again with a better body, with better sense organs, with a better capacity to enjoy the world, with better sense objects around them, more money, Vittaishana, having a large progeny, Putraishana, Lokaishana, having very good surroundings around me, either here or in higher lokas. So that is the setu for them, Veda Purva. Whereas Brahma Jnanam or Vedanta is the setu, the bridge or the path for those who want to go to the other side of samsara. Abhayam titir shatam param. Abhayam titishatam, those who want to cross over this samsara, this sea of samsara, and go to the side of Abhayam, where there is fearlessness, where there is immortality. Fearlessness means what? Immortality. What is the most important fear that we have? Fear of loss. Which is the biggest fear of loss? Fear of loss of life. Fear of death is the biggest fear every one of us have. Fear of illness, fear of death. And it is said that if I am going to take up the Shreyo Marga, and once this Atma Jnanam helps me to abide in my own Atma Swarupa, then I am abiding in immortality, and there's no question of coming back again and again. This we have seen several times in Vivek Chudamani, several times in Bhagavad Gita also we have said. And here Yamadharma Raja says, Nachiketagum Shakemahi. Okay? Hey Nachiketa, we are capable of going through that path of Shreyas or Moksha. So the one who has the Ichha of crossing over the sea or the ocean of samsara, Aksharam Brahma Jnanam, making that as the Setu, knowing this jnanam and crossing over to the other side of immortality and fearlessness, we are capable of it, He Nachiketa. Yamadharmaraya says, Shake Mahi, Nachiketagam Shake Mahi. We are able to do that. You have already chosen this path. Brahma Sadmam Vivartam, he told in the second Vali itself. What did Yamadharmaraja say? You have chosen a path, and it is as though mokshas, the doors of Brahma Sadma are open for you. It is as though moksha is already, if you are fit for this moksha, for this. So here he's saying, Nachiketagam Shake Mahi. That means knowing that Atma, we are Samartha. Both of us, of course, Yamadharmaraja already is Samartha. He's already the Guru. So, hey Nachiketa, he says, we, Shake Mahi, we are capable or Samartha enough to know that path or Jnana Marga or this Aksharam Brahma Jnana, which is going to lead me to the Abhayam Param Vindate. Abhayam Param. That means what? Where I abide in the immortal Swarupam of myself. That is why in another Upanishad called Taittiriya Upanishad, Nabibheti Kutaschana, Anandam Brahmano Vidwan, Nabibheti Kutaschana, Nabibheti Kadachana. Nowhere, at no time, at no place, this jnani has any fear. He has crossed the samsara. Fear which belongs to samsara has been crossed over. Therefore, now we have seen who is a jiva in the first verse. What are the two options that the jiva has for his journey? We have already seen in the second verse. And this being an Upanishad, and our hero here, Nachiketa, has already chosen the Jnana Marga or the Shreyo Marga, and he is ready, Abhayam Titir Param, Titir desirous of crossing over the sea of samsara. Titir Tirthum Icha, that he has to, Titisha means he wants to go away from the samsara, of the ocean of samsara. That ichha is already there in him, and therefore there is nothing impossible for few here. So he for you here. So he says now, if the journey, the jiva is ready for this journey. If the jiva is ready for the journey, what are the preparations that we have to make? Nachiketa is, a titirshu. He is desirous of, swimming across the ocean of samsara. He's already there. But then we should have a means of this journey. And what is the means that Bhagwan has given us, God has given us for this journey? Our Upanishads say that the body, mind, sense complex, this Upadhi itself, is the best vehicle for this journey. It's the best vehicle for this journey. And if I have to take up a journey, then I have to see that the vehicle in which I am taking up the journey is sufficiently well prepared for the journey. If I am taking a car, the car should be roadworthy. Without checking the roadworthiness of the car, if I have not run the car for 10 years and suddenly I want to take a long journey by car, it is not possible. It's not going to take me where I want. It's going to just give me problems in the middle. Similarly, if this is the journey of Aksharam Brahma Jnanam that I want to take, if I want to take the journey of Shreyo Marga, if I want to take the journey towards my goal called moksha, in such a case, I have to have this body mind sense complex, which is the perfect vehicle which has been provided by Ishvara, and I have to maintain it. For this purpose, now, Ratha Kalpana is given from the third verse to the ninth verse of this chapter. I think this particular portion, third verse to ninth verse, the imagery of a Ratha, the imagery of a chariot as the very vehicle for a jiva to cross over the sea of samsara is one of the most beautiful portions of Kathopanishad. The next six verses talk about what is this imagery, what is this, the Ratha Kalpana, how the Ratha is compared to a human jiva, and then how the journey can be taken place, how to fine tune the Ratha, how to prepare the Ratha for this journey. All these things are going to be talked about in the next six verses. And let's see the third verse now. This is the vehicle which is being described. And Ratha, because in those days cars and aeroplanes and trains and all were not there, and therefore Rathas were the main vehicles to travel, and therefore a Ratha Kalpana is done here in the Upanishad. So let us read here. Atmanagam Rathinam Vidhi Shariragam Rathamevatu Buddhim tu Sarathim Vidhi Manah Pragrahamevacha. So he says, Atmanagam Rathinam Vidhi. Here, Atma is the meaning of Jiva, is the meaning of Atma here. Atmanagam Rathinam Vidhi. Let the Jiva, may you consider, may you understand this Jiva as the traveler or a Rathi. A Rathi is the one who is the master of the Ratha, who is sitting inside the Ratha and waiting for the driver or the person who drives the chariot to take the Ratha wherever he wants. If you take from the modern parlance, we can take the person sitting in the back seat, who is the master of the car, the owner of the car. He is here, the one who wants to travel, correct? The driver doesn't want to travel. It is this Swami, Ratha Swami, or the car Swami who wants to travel. Similarly, the Jiva, this Atma or the Jivatma here is the Rathi. The Jivatma is the traveler. The traveler Jiva has decided that he is going to take the journey towards his goal of moksha. Therefore, Atmanagam Rathinam Vidhi. When you say Atmanagam, it is the Vedic usage. We can say Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi also, but in the Vedic usage, is agum, it is given here like this. That is the way the Vedic mantras are sometimes given. So, Atmanagam Rathinam Vidhi. May you understand this Jivatma or the Jiva to be the traveler, to be sitting inside this chariot, to be taken on that particular path which he wants to go. Shariram Rathamevatu. May you understand that this body is the Ratha. Why is this body the Ratha? Because the body can be taken here and there. The body can move from one place to the other. And when the body moves from one place to the other, the Jiva which is situated in the body also moves from one place to the other. Therefore, Shariram tu Rathamevacha. The Jiva is the Atma, or Atma means here it is the Jivatma, is the traveler. He is the Ratha Swami, the one who is sitting in the Ratha, wanting to take that journey. And what is the Ratha? It is the body. It is the body of this particular Jivatma, which is equivalent to or given as equal to Ratha. Shariragam Rathamevatu. Sharira or this body is the Ratha. What is the meaning of Sharira? Sharira means Shiryate iti Shariram. That which is not permanently there. Like a chariot also, is not going to be there all the time. Sometime or the other, the chariot is going to, become unworthy of road. Similarly, a car also is not all the time there. It is going down every day, and sometime or the other, this car becomes not fit for driving at all. Similarly, the body also day by day is going down, it is degenerating, and a time will come when it will disappear. Therefore, the Shariram is compared to a chariot. Buddhim tu sarathim vidhi. Sarathi, the driver of this Ratha, is nothing but Buddhi. Why the Buddhi is Sarathi? Because we have seen in Tattva Bodha. What have we seen in Tattva Bodha? Buddhi is Nishchayatmika. It is the Buddhi which decides how to go. The Buddhi should know which is the path I have to take. What are the problems in that path? Are there any other paths? Are there any other deviations? Are there any diversions? Which is the best road for me to take? How much time it is going to take for me to go by that road? All these details are known by the driver. The Rathaswami is not bothered. The Rathaswami or the owner of the car only tells the driver, I want to go to that particular place. It is the responsibility of the Sarathi or the driver to really take the Rathaswami where he wants. Similarly, in this Ratha, here, there are no other people. I am the one. I am the traveler. The Jiva, I am the traveler. The body is the Ratha because the body can be taken here, there, everywhere. Buddhi is the Sarathi because the Buddhi has the capacity to make Nishchayas, Nishchayatmika Buddhi. Therefore, the Buddhi is the one which is the deciding factor, and therefore, the Buddhi has to be in the place of the Sarathi. It is the Buddhi which has to lead this Ratha where it has to go. And the Buddhi has to pull the body, the Buddhi has to pull the mind and the sense organs to the right place at the right time, in the right speed, in the right way, whatever it is. Therefore, Buddhim tu Sarathim Vidhi Manaha Pragraha Mevacha. Pragraha means the reins for the horses. The horses are drawing the chariots. We know that in those days it is the horses which are drawing the chariot, and the Sarathi has a control over the horses by having reins in his hand. The reins of the horses in his hand, the Sarathi has got, and therefore the Sarathi has got the control of the horses by reins. By pulling the reins, he can pull the horses, direct them in the right direction, take them in the right path, avoid them from going on the wrong path. This is only a part of the description. And next verse, it completes the Ratha Kalpana. Indriyani hayanahuhu vishayagam steshu gocharan atmendriya manoyuktam bhoktetyahurmanishinaha. So if the chariot is there, the Rathaswami, the Jiva, is already sitting there in the chariot, waiting to start his journey. The driver is sitting in the driver's seat, the one who knows exactly where to go and what to do. That is why the role of a Sarathi was very important in those days, especially in the wars. Why do you think Arjuna took Krishna as his Sarathi? Because Krishna was Arjuna's buddhi. That is the signification of that. That is the symbolism of that. Arjuna is like the mind, whereas Sarathi is like the buddhi. Krishna, the Sarathi, knew exactly where Arjuna's Ratha has to be taken, to the vantage points, to the points where it is going to be easy for Arjuna to win the war. Therefore, it is the Sarathi, more important it is here than even the Rathaswami. And it is said that if Karna had a problem with his Ratha, it is because his Sarathi Shalya was a bad Sarathi. And the Sarathi, rather than helping Karna, Shalya the Sarathi actually gives him up. He abandons him in the middle. He leaves the chariot and goes away. Therefore, if there is no proper driver, it is like a driver who's driving my car who leaves me in the middle of the traffic and says, I'm not going to drive you. So, therefore, the Sarathi has the most important job to do. And in this entire body mind sense complex, the most important organ is the buddhi, which decides the goal which has already been decided and how to go about that goal. So he said, Atma or Jivatma is the Rathi, the one who is the Rathaswami. This body is considered to be the Ratha, and the Buddhi is the Sarathi, and the Sarathi has to control the horses by the reins called as mind. Manaha pragrahamevacha means what? The mind is like the reins in Sarathi's hands. Then who are the Indriyas? Indriyani hayani ahuhu. Hayani, horses. Five horses are there. Five indriyas. It is these five indriyas which draw, literally take the body here and there. They take the body here and there. The sense organs are the ones which drive the body to various sense objects. Without the sense objects, the sense organs will have no work. It is the sense organs which decide and draw the body here and there. They are like horses. They are like five horses. Five organs of perception. The five jnanendriyas are like the five horses which draw the ratha. Indriyani hayani ahuhu vishayagam teshu gocharan. Vishayagam teshu gocharan. So if horses are there, if the chariot is there, the driver is already sitting, there should be roads to drive this chariot upon. What are the roads? The world of objects are the roads. Vishayagam teshu gocharan. Gochara means the path, the roads. And what are the roads? Vishayas. All the objects of the world are actually the Vishayas are the roads, because depending upon what I want, my eyes will draw this body to some place where the eyes want. The ears will draw the body to the place where the ears want. Similarly, all my sense organs of perception, the five sense organs of perception, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, these five objects which are representing of these five sense organs are there in the prapancha, therefore it's called prapancha. So it is this sense objects of the world, or the world with its multifarious five pointed sense objects is the road, are the various roads. And which road to take, we cannot depend upon the indriyas. Each indriya is pulling the chariot in its own direction. The mind also goes along with the indriyas, and the mind also pulls the chariot in different direction. Today I want to be here, tomorrow I want to be here, and I keep losing my way if I listen to the mind, because the mind is samshaya vikalpatmaka. Samshaya vikalpatmakaha manaha. The mind is always doubting. The mind is always deciding to do something and then doubting. Doubting faculty, samshayatmika, all the vikalpa samshaya, to do this or not to do this, go here or go there. So the mind goes along with sense organs. But then the mind is like the pragraha, the mind is like the reins. And what does the Sarathi do? What does the Buddhi do? The Buddhi pulls the mind in the direction he wants. By pulling the mind in the right direction, the sense organs are also pulled in the right direction. And who is this Jiva who is sitting as the Rathaswami? Atmendriya Manoyuktam Bhokta iti ahuhu manishinaha. This Rathaswami, endowed with this body, mind, sense complex, is called as the Bhokta, the one who is the experiencer, the one who is the Karta, the one who is the Bhokta. So the third and the fourth verse are talking about the Ratha Kalpana. So what is the Kalpana here? You the Jiva, I the Jiva, I have this whole setup given to me by Ishvara, which is capable of taking the journey, either the journey of prayas or the journey of Shreyas, the journey towards moksha, Shreyo Marga. And Bhagwan Yamadharmaraja said, Hey Nachiketa, we are capable of taking that journey. And to take up that journey towards moksha, I should have a fit vehicle. I, the Jiva, wants to take up this journey. What is the vehicle for me? This body, Shariram, Ratham. I, the Jiva, is the traveler. The Buddhi, the one which has the Nishchayatmika, the capacity to make Nishchayas, the one which has the capacity to determine, the power of discrimination, the power of discretion, the power of determination. This Buddhi is in the driver's seat. And then the Indriyas are the five horses, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasagandha, who are drawing this chariot and the mind in all directions. And therefore, it is the Sarathi who has to have the reins of all the five horses in his hands and pull the reins, release the reins, keep the horses going in the right direction. So it is the sarathi, like a driver of the car, should know when to change the gear, how much speed one should go to, how much steering should be turned. Similarly, it is the buddhi which should know how to manage the indriyas and the mind, the right type of control, the right type of release, and allowing the five horses to go in unison on one road. Otherwise, what will happen? Each horse will pull the ratha in its own direction. There is no question of any journey here. Therefore, this is the whole thing, what is called as Ratha Kalpana. Now, this Rathaswami is ready with his own body as the Ratha, sense organs as the horses. The sense objects of the world are there, which are multiple paths are there, and the Sarathi, the driver, is sitting there, and the driver is driving this Rathaswami for the bhoga, for the experience of the driver to reach the goal. Now, if we have to take up this journey, then all of them should be fit enough, isn't it? Supposing the Rathaswami is fit, say, the body, the Ratha is, not fit enough at all. It is making noises everywhere. The wheels are weak. Steering is not moving wherever I want to move. If it is not happening, if the vehicle itself is unhealthy, the journey is not possible. Fine. The vehicle is healthy, but the Rathaswami himself is incapable of taking this journey, unprepared for this journey. Then also journey cannot take place. The Rathaswami is ready. He knows where he wants to go. The Ratha or the car is ready, but the driver is drunk. The driver doesn't know where to go. The driver is not really in a mood to drive. He doesn't know where to go. He is drunk with Bhranti. Then also the journey cannot take place. If the horses are not properly trained, if the sense organs are not properly trained, each sense organ drawing the body here and there, then also the journey is not going to take place. If the mind is not controlled by the buddhi, and the mind also goes along with the sense organs here and there, then also the journey cannot take place. We have no control over the roads. The Jagat is there, the objects of the Jagat are there. I cannot do anything about it. What can I do? I can keep this whole thing in unison. My whole setup, this whole Ratha has to work in uniform, in harmony. Unless this whole Ratha works in harmony, that is what the Ratha Swami, the Ratha, then the Buddhi, the mind, the sense organs. All these have to work in unison. Only then, when the harmony is there, then only it is possible for this Jiva to take up the journey. So, what are these things that make up for the fitness? What are these things that make up for the fitness of this particular vehicle, fitness of the jiva? What should be there? The body should be healthy, correct? If the body is unhealthy, if I cannot sit for 1 hour to listen to Vedanta, if a guru is taking a class on Vedanta and if I am not able to sit for 1 hour, If my body is unhealthy, there's no question of Jnana Marga here. Remember, I have taken up the journey of Jnana Marga Shreyas. If my body is unhealthy, if I can't sit in one position for more than 5 minutes, then all the time my mind is on my body. My mind is all the time thinking of the aches and pains, constantly changing position, backache, knee joint pain, this, that, etc. If the body is unhealthy, then this particular journey is not possible. So, arogyam is very, very important. Arogyam, that is the health of the body, is very important. Then, what the next one? The Ratha Swami. He has to be prepared for this journey. The mind should be prepared. It's a long journey. When we are going to reach moksha, we don't know. It may be a journey of one lifetime or many lifetimes. Therefore, this Rathaswami, the Jiva, has to be prepared well enough with Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga. He should have the Jnana Yogyata Prapti. He should have the emotional well being. Physical well being is okay. Psychological, emotional well being also by following the values. We saw that in Daivi Sampatti in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and Amanitvadi values in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We saw that. So, a Jiva or the Rathaswami should not only have the physical health, the body should be healthy, arogyam. The Rathaswami should be a prepared Rathaswami, intellectually prepared, sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari he must be. Then next, he has given the responsibility to the driver, the Sarathi, to take up his journey for him, to take him to the goal. Therefore, the Sarathi or the Buddhi should have Viveka, discrimination. In the middle of the journey, the Sarathi should not say, no, 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 I don't want to take this path. I want to go somewhere else. I'm not interested in going in this path. In the middle of Jnana Yoga, my buddhi cannot say, who knows where I will go? Who has seen moksha? How do I know that Jnana Marga will lead me to moksha? It is better I do only Nama Sankirtanam and Bhajan and I will go back. That is enough for me. So it should not give up in the middle. Therefore, the buddhi should be a Viveki buddhi. The buddhi should have Viveka. The body should have the health, Arogya. The Rathaswami should have the preparedness, adhikaritvam. The Buddhi should have viveka or discrimination as to how to continue with this journey and commit to the journey and not stop. Fourth, the mind should be capable of being controlled by the Buddhi, what is called as Shama, Manonigraha or Shama. Then the sense organs should be controllable sense organs. The mind and the buddhi have to keep the sense organs pointed or focused on the path of journey. Like putting these, shades which we put, to the horses so that they don't see here and there. The sense organs also should see only the path that they are going. So, nigraha of the sense organs called as the dhamma. It's very important. These five factors, arogya, adhikaritvam, then shama, viveka for the buddhi, shama for the mind, dhamma, that is for the sense organs. These five are absolutely important for the ratha to work in harmony, for the ratha to work as one single piece. The whole process should be directed properly. That means what? There should be arjavam. What is the arjavam? A harmonious effort by the sense organs, by the mind, by the buddhi, by the body, and by the Rathaswami. Only when there is a arjavam between these five and all the five are together, when the whole vehicle is together, then only this journey can take place. So, all these 5 points, if they are not there, then this journey cannot take place. That is what he's going to talk about from the 5th verse to the 9th verse. Yamadharmaraja wants to spend 4 verses in telling what happens when there is an arjavam of all the five. And what happens when there is no coordination? Arjava means what? Coordination. When all these five are there, it is a coordinated effort by the vehicle. Otherwise, supposing the Rathaswami is not sure where he wants to go, the driver does not go where the Rathaswami is telling, the horses are not going where the Rathaswami, where the Sarathi wants, then the journey cannot happen. So there should be an arjavam. There should be arogya, physical arogya. There should be the emotional stability and preparedness of the Rathaswami, the jiva. Then there should be viveka for the buddhi. Then there should be shama in the mind, and there should be dhamma for the sense organs, which we have already developed during our preparatory phase called as sadhana chatushtaya sampatti before we go for this jnanam. That means what? All the five of us have to be jnana yogya. Jnana yogyata prapti should be there. Then only it is possible for this journey to take place. So in the fifth verse, he says, even if one of these factors is missing, then the ratha is not roadworthy. A roadworthy, unworthy vehicle is not fit for journey. So what does he say in the verse number 5? यस्तु अविज्ञानवान् भवति अयुक्तेन मनसा सदा तस्येन्द्रियाणि अवश्यानि दुष्टाश्वा इव सारथेः यस्तु अविज्ञानवान् भवति अविज्ञानवान्, this person, this Rathaswami is not prepared for this journey. The Sarathi does not have the discrimination of where to go. Both the Rathaswami and Sarathi, both of them have no discrimination. Avijnanavan, there is no Viveka. No sadhana chatushtaya sampatti is there for this Rathaswami. He starts the journey, but he has doubt in his own journey. Oh, stop, 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 let us go back. I don't know. I am not prepared for this yet. So, Avijnanavan means a person, a Rathaswami who's not prepared for this particular journey, the one who doesn't have the viveka for this journey, yastu avijnanavan bhavati, ayuktena manasa saha. That means the one who's not associated with a shaman vita mind, where there is no shama. First of all, no viveka. Viveka is not there. Then ayuktena manasa sada. The mind is not prepared. It is ayukta. That means there is no shama for the mind. Tasya indriyani avashyani. For such a person, the indriyas are not in the vasha of the mind and the intellect. I am not in control of my indriyas. I am not in control of my mind there. That means what? The indriyas are controlling me. The mind is controlling me. The buddhi is not controlling me. So, when the indriyas are avashyani, they are not under my control. There is no nigraha. There is no indriya nigraha. Dushtashva iva sarathehe. It is like having untrained horses. Dushta ashva. So the condition, just imagine the condition of the ratha. The Sarathi and the Rathaswami, the Rathi, are avivekis. They have not yet decided what they want. The mind has no shama. Indriyas have no dhamma. Then what happens? It is like sitting in a chariot with horses which are pulling one in all kinds of directions. What Yabadharmaraja wants to say is, hey Nachiketa, if you want to take up the journey of moksha, the journey of Shreyo Marga towards moksha, all these factors have to be factored in. All these things have to be controlled. Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna Adhikari I have to be. I have to have Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti. I have to have the capacity to discipline my mind and sense organs. The buddhi should have the capacity to holding the reins of the mind and pull the horses called sense organs in the proper way. So unless there is arjavam, unless there is a coordinated effort in all these five, then it is like a driver sitting in a car. The steering is turning in one way, the wheels are turning in another way, the front wheel is turning one side, back wheels are in some other way. If that happens, where is it going to take? The vehicle is only going to take us to the Guru of Kathopanishad, Yamadharma Raja. We will never reach where we have to reach. Therefore, he says, Yastu avijnanavan bhavati ayuktena manasa sada tasya indriyadi avashyani means those who are indriyas which are not under the control of me, the Buddhi and the Ratha Swami, Dushtashva iha sarathehe. It is like as though the sense organs and mind are not in the control of the Sarathi. In the next verse, in the sixth verse, exactly opposite is talked about, where there is an arjavam between these five things. The Ratha Swami is prepared, sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari. The Ratha is healthy, all its parts servicing, everything has been done. It is fit for the journey, it is proper. The Sarathi is well informed, he is a Viveki, he knows where to go, how to go, he is only waiting for the instructions from the Rathaswami. He has the full control of the mind in the form of the pragrahas, and also there is sufficient amount of dhamma, the indriya nigraha. All these four are there, and the Rathaswami till the horses are all working as one unit in a coordinated effort. What happens in such a case? यस्तु विज्ञानवान् भवति युक्तेन मनसा सदा तस्य इन्द्रियाणि वश्यानि सदश्वा इव सारथेः. So, Vijnanavan, when the Sarathi and also the Rathaswami have the Viveka and also they know the journey that they are taking, Yuktena Manasa Saha, they are associated with the mind which is Shamanvita mind, which has got Shama. That is Mano Nigraha is there. The mind is under the guidance of the Buddhi. It does not go here and there. Sada, all the time, not occasionally. The mind is all the time under the control of the Buddhi. Tasya indriyani vashyani, whose sense organs are dhammayuktas. They don't run madly after the sense objects. There is sufficient amount of indriya nigraha. Sadashva iva saratehe. They are like well trained horses for the sarathi. It is easy for the sarathi and also the person sitting in the ratha to take the journey and to reach the place faster and in a right way without much of an effort. Otherwise, it is an effort. So, what is being talked here? Firstly, the first verse talked about what is a jiva. The second verse talked about the two options that the jiva has, the two journey options that the jiva has. The third verse talked about what are the, you know, what are the things that are given, what are the components of the journey that the jiva can take towards moksha, the vehicle that the person has to have for this moksha. It's not a borrowed vehicle from somewhere. It is me, the very body mind sense complex is compared to the Ratha Kalpana. And this Ratha to be in a fit condition, how the Ratha Swami, the Ratha, the Sarathi, Manaha, and the Indriyas, how they have to be in a coordinated effort, and arjavam should be there. And such a vehicle, such a journey where all the five are having the arjavam and working like in an orchestra. In an orchestra, if each person wants to show off and if each instrumentalist starts playing his own way, there is no question of music here. Similarly, all these five have to be concentrated enough, support each other, and do their job well. And such a vehicle is fit for this journey. We'll stop here and see the next ones. in the next session. ॐ नन्दन्तु साधका सर्वे विनश्यन्तु विदूषकाः अवस्थाशाम्भवी मेस्तु प्रसन्नोऽस्तु गुरुः सदा सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः